due to the remarks of Freddie O'Connell and the potential for aiding and abetting illegal immigration. The Homeland Security and the Judiciary Committees will be conducting an investigation into the mayor of Nashville.
Well, it's official. The mayor of Nashville may be in some very big trouble. And you know it's bad when Tom Homan even says he's coming to Nashville.
I cannot confirm or deny if ICE is investigating him, but we'll see where it plays out. And it isn't just what he says, it's what he does. So, I plan on going to Nashville in the near future.
Now, like we always do, we're going to work together. We're going to dig into this case and figure out together if this mayor is going to be in trouble. But I'm going to warn you, in this case, we really have to dig deep and put all the pieces together in order to form a case against the mayor of Nashville.
Nashville's Mayor Freddie O'Connell still frustrated with state and federal officials after this week's ICE roundup.
When you jeopardize people's willingness to report crimes, to show up in schools where you know you've got safe spaces, you are not contributing to actual safety.
Okay, let's start from the very beginning so we can start to build this case. On May 4th, Tennessee Highway Patrol and ICE worked together in the Nashville area to find illegal immigrants.
Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell has issued an executive order aimed at tracking interactions with federal immigration authorities.
He then instructed members of law enforcement to report any communication with federal authorities. He then directed the Police Community Oversight Board to direct citizens to file complaints against law enforcement if they cooperate.
Okay, so two things. Number one, the executive order. Basically, the mayor of Nashville wants local law enforcement to tell him if they are working with federal agents. That includes ICE. But also, if you are a civilian and you see a police officer working with ICE, you should and could report that officer just in case.
Are you guys helping ICE out tonight? Okay, all right. No, we're good. Yeah, okay. Well, it could get you in trouble, so be careful.
So that was Tennessee State Representative Afton Bain, and her district is in the Nashville area. But even on footage, she's asking, have you been working with ICE to local PD? And that could get you in trouble, so be careful. Now, one of the main arguments for this investigation is that the mayor's executive order is creating this environment of chaos or divide where ICE cannot properly do their job if there's no communication with local law enforcement, and you have civilians telling on local law enforcement if they're working with ICE.
We'll be launching a new fund called the Belonging Fund. We want to make sure that the immigrant community in this town knows that we have their back, and the fund will raise dollars that'll support the needs of our immigrant community, especially those who've been affected by the ICE raids yesterday.
Now remember, the accusation is aiding and abetting. Here's the aiding part. The accusation is the mayor of Nashville has helped create or promote and launch this belonging fund where taxpayer money is being sent to illegal immigrants.
Section 8 of U.S. Code 1324. It's the basis for Metro Council member David Benton's request, seeing if a not-for-profit fund is being used to help illegal immigrants.
I'm asking for a state or federal audit of each one of these so that I, as a local legislator, can clarify whether any funds are inadvertently supporting and violating.
Benton says the Belonging Fund, spearheaded by the Community Foundation of Middle Tennessee, could be violating the law and protecting illegal immigrants here in Nashville. He wants to ensure taxpayer dollars aren't a part of it.
Now, what's interesting about the Belonging Fund is that it happened to come out and was promoted after all of those illegal immigrants were arrested. However, the argument is the Belonging Fund is for immigrants and no taxpayer money is, being donated to illegal immigrants, even though this is on a government website.
The Belonging Fund is critical because, one, I can assure you that it's helping individuals maybe hopefully delay an eviction.
The fund does not collect information from beneficiaries, according to the foundation's website, which could limit the ability for any audit to prove it's breaking the law.
Now, this is the big one. Is the mayor of Nashville aiding illegal immigrants while using taxpayer money through the Belonging Fund? But it goes beyond that, because if the fund is caught helping illegal immigrants, the other question is, are they bringing in and harboring certain aliens, which is a federal offense, which is why I think Tom Homan sort of gave us a clue that they might be looking into this.
Oversight is opening up a congressional investigation. I cannot confirm or deny if ICE is investigating him, but we'll see where it plays out. And it isn't just what he says, is what he does. So, I plan on going to Nashville in the near future, and I said that from day one, that we're going to hit every sanctuary city. Everybody that wants to push back against ICE, we're going to pay a lot of attention to them, because why? It's not a threat, but if you're going to support criminal aliens walking the street, then we know there's a problem there.
Now, this is also very crucial. The mayor of Nashville, Tennessee is allowed to hate anything that has to do with deportations or homeland security. But according to Tennessee state law, it is illegal to adopt a sanctuary policy, which is where this investigation is heading into, whether or not the mayor is getting too close or is acting like a sanctuary city.
Meanwhile, Metro's Director of Law, Wally Dietz, says they are limited on what they can do due to various state and federal laws.
We are powerless. We have absolutely no authority to instruct ICE not to carry out their enforcement actions. We have no authority to tell THP they cannot cooperate.
And again, I do want to mention, Nashville is not a sanctuary city. And the reason why Tom Homan and other government officials want to investigate Nashville is because why is there so much hesitation to want to work with ICE to the point of these executive orders and telling civilians to tell on local law enforcement? What is going on behind the scenes?
When you look at Middle Tennessee, in one weekend, ICE and THP caught 196 individuals identified as removable aliens, some of which a 37-year-old Venezuelan national affiliated with Trinidad, 39-year-old Mexican national with 6 prior removals for convictions in domestic assault and sex with a minor, a 6-year-old Iraqi national convicted for rape. So when a mayor stands up and is defending those types of individuals over our hard-working law enforcement, Homeland Security, ICE, THP, the Sheriff's Department in the city, he's choosing criminals over Tennesseans.
And again, the response from the mayor, executive order. If you are a local law enforcement officer, you gotta let us know if you work with federal agents. But the timing of it was, of course, right after working with ICE agents. And number 2, you have this donation fund that's going to legal immigrants, is what they're saying, is not taxpayer funded, however, is on a government website being promoted by government officials who are paid by the taxpayers.
Yeah, Congressman Ogles says that this isn't just about a difference in political opinion. He believes that Mayor Freddie O'Connell is obstructing federal immigration enforcement, and now he is formally requesting documents from the mayor's office to potentially be used in a House investigation. Now, Ogles' comments come after nearly 200 undocumented immigrants here in Nashville were detained in a joint operation with ICE and the Tennessee Highway Patrol earlier this month. Now, Ogles says that he is requesting all documents and communications from the mayor's office related to immigration enforcement, including any discussions about ICE raids, Metro employee involvement, and a controversial amendment to Executive Order 30, which he says requires city workers to report contact with ICE directly to the mayor.
Now, these communication records are going to be vital to all of this. This is because, according to the mayor, and this is the technicality, according to his executive order, he's not telling police departments to not work with ICE. He's simply saying, just let me know. However, if it is found in the communication records, again, according to these laws, a lot of anti-sanctuary policies, if it's found in the communication records, he has said, don't work with them, or is advising to not work with ICE, it's a done deal. Somebody's going to get arrested and probably put in jail, because that is illegal.
Before and during the press conference, protesters outside the Capitol were rallying against Ogle, some even saying that he's the one who should be deported. Now, Mayor O'Connell has not yet issued a new statement in response to Monday's press conference, but he told Fox 17 News just last week that his stance on immigration is clear, and he says that the city's top priority is focusing on helping Nashvillians as a whole.
Now, something else that's troubling for this investigation is that the mayor doesn't seem to make a distinction between an illegal immigrant, a legal immigrant, or an American citizen. It's just a Nashvillian. But as far as the technicalities, a Nashvillian doesn't help out the mayor. This is because, again, if the communication records find that there is harboring of certain aliens, or it is being perceived that they are trying to protect illegal immigrants, that could also ding the mayor as far as this investigation is concerned. And guess what? It might not only be the mayor that gets in trouble, other people on his staff or city officials could also get busted.
This is a first-of-its-kind fund supporting our immigrant and refugee community in moments of crisis, which have been many in that community over the past several weeks. And it will be online today, cfmt.org/belonging.
Now, when it comes to this fund, I have no way of knowing if anything that's happening is illegal on the back end. I can only go with what we know. So we know the context. We know this fund came out pretty soon after the fact of all of these ICE arrests and THP working with ICE. This was a statement. We're going to help our immigration community. We're going to help our refugees. And that's all fine and dandy. But again, it's the context of this coming out. And when they keep saying no taxpayer money is being funded into this, none of your money is helping out these immigrants or illegal immigrants, the problem is this is on a government website. Government time was used to promote this, which is why I think this is on the radar of the investigation very soon after this fund came out. It's very troubling when you say no taxpayer money is going into this, but this is on a .gov website. That's where you get into the gray area where I simply have to say, I don't know what's going on. I don't have the ability to look behind the scenes, but the context of all of this, to me, I do think it raises a red flag.
He says this is due to his recent conduct and whether or not federal dollars have been used as part of a criminal enterprise. Officials from ICE, the Nashville City Council, the Tennessee General Assembly, and victims of foreign gang violence, they were all in attendance. Ogle says his main position from this is to show support for federal law enforcement and to reaffirm Tennessee's commitment to protecting its citizens from the rising threat that's posed by illegal immigrants.
Now, something else I'm also noticing is the wording in all of these interviews. It's the fact that the mayor was pushing back. I do want to point out a complication in this investigation. It has nothing to do with your freedom of speech. You are allowed to push back verbally. But when you start to stack on top all of the context and the actions of the mayor, you can find footage of a elected official questioning local law enforcement. Hey, what are you doing? You can get in trouble if you're working with ICE. This is the pushback they're talking about, not the speech from the mayor, but the actual actions. That is very crucial because a lot of time Democrats like to claim, the Trump administration, he hates when people push back. Tom Homan has always said, we don't care if you push back, don't get in our way. And when you look at Tennessee, it's illegal to get in the way.
You've cracked down on sanctuary cities. The DOJ has put a pause on all federal funding to sanctuary cities and states. You filed a lawsuit against Chicago and the state of Illinois for being a sanctuary city. Am I wrong in my interpretation that a sanctuary city is aiding and abetting in lawbreaking?
Sean, what they're doing is they are choosing illegal aliens over the safety and security of their own citizens and the men and women of law enforcement who are out there trying to protect their citizens. Not only did we sue today the city of Chicago, we sued the state of Illinois, we sued the mayor, we sued the governor, and we sued others. And let me be very clear, if you don't comply with federal law, you're going to be next.
And I wanted to show you that even Pam Bondi talks about pushback or being in the category where your pushback is putting illegal immigrants over the safety of legal Americans or an American citizen. Now, let's recap. Number one, the Belonging Fund. Is taxpayer money being funded into this fund in which is being donated to illegal immigrants? All we know is that this fund appears to be legitimate, but as we know, an appearance doesn't mean everything. What's happening behind the scenes? Why did this fund come out so soon after all of these illegal immigrants were arrested? Why are you saying this is not taxpayer funded with the donations, yet is on a taxpayer funded government website, and the mayor is talking about it as well? That's like the main question we all have. Number 2, the executive order. A mayor does have jurisdiction over his police department, and he is allowed to know the whereabouts, who they're working with, how they're working with. That is one of the jobs of the mayor. But the question is the executive order crossing over that line of impediment, obstruction, abetting? This is the argument many people have, especially when you look into the law of Tennessee, in which you are not allowed to do any of that. You're not even allowed to get close to it. And the fact that the mayor might be getting a little too close to it, it's really up in the air as far as what this investigation is going to find. As we are learning throughout all of the U.S. laws, you can really pinpoint anything and say that's illegal because of this and this. But again, I do think overall speaking, this mayor is probably going to get in trouble as far as getting a little too close to the anti-sanctuary policies. I advise you to go look into these policies. They are very vague, but overall speaking, you cannot even obstruct or anything. If a police officer knows that there's an illegal immigrant right here and you act like you don't know it, but he knows it and there's an ICE agent here and you don't report it, that's illegal. That's how vague these laws are. So I'm really curious to see what happens, but I hope I was able to give you an informed opinion or at least educate you in this entire process of what's happening. There's definitely going to be more reports that will be uncovered, I'm sure of it. We'll see what happens. God bless, and we'll see you all later. Thank you.